Benzodiazepines, benzos. A widely discussed topic on forums, on Facebook groups, and they are prescribed pretty frequently, and there is a time and place when they are beneficial, but I think in most instances I don't think it's a good idea. So if we go back to my story, just to talk from my own experience. When I flew in 2019 to the USA, my OCD exploded. And when I was there, I was really, really, really bad. Everything came together. All the anxiety that had built up for years went out and exploded in my face. It was really bad. I was in very bad shape. Really, extremely anxious. And there started somatic OCD, or in other words, sensory motor OCD, breathing OCD. When I was there, I called the doctor in my own country. And I made an appointment ASAP. I landed, and the next morning I went to the doctor's office. I was in total panic because I didn't even know what was happening, but I was really, really anxious. What happened is that when I talked with the doctor about my experience of the last few days, I didn't have a clue what the F was happening, and he didn't have a clue what the F was happening. One thing we knew, and that was I was really scared and was really disturbed. So he took some extra time for me because he saw I was in a very, very bad shape, and it's all over the place. So we talked, and he said, you need to see another doctor because I can't help you. But he said, because I even wasn't sleeping at the time, I was so anxious. I wasn't sleeping more than 2 hours. 3, and at most. He said, I want to give you some sleep medication, and I want to give you something to be more at ease. And I said, what do you want to give me? He said, I want to give you some pill that makes you more restful and be more calm. And I said, what is it? Benzodiazepines, he said, benzos. And I said, I don't want that. I know I'm bad, but I can sit this through to the next appointment because I didn't feel good about it. But I said, give me the sleeping pills, and I took them for a few days, but the first pill I took was already, I thought this isn't the answer, because I was already scared when I took them that if I hadn't any pills anymore, I couldn't sleep. And my dad had very, very bad sleep issues his whole life, and he was taking the sleeping medications his whole life, needed to go up and down in dosage. So I stopped that very quickly within the first week. And on my other appointments, different people gave me the opportunity to start the benzos. But if you are having anxiety problems, the only reason why you should take benzos is in a crisis situation. And I was at crisis, but I'm still here, so yeah. But I think there is a time and place when someone is really not knowing what is happening, is really anxious 100%, as I was, then it can be beneficial for a few days. Mind, a few days. Because it isn't the answer long term, short term, only very short term. Because what happens is this. People are anxious. And the anxious feelings are really intense. And what almost every time happens is that people get scared of being scared. People get scared of the feelings of anxiety, of the feelings of panic. And that is a very big problem, or very big part of getting better of GAD, generalized anxiety disorder. So what happens? Someone comes in with very bad anxiety. The doctor prescribes him benzo to take it more, to get a more ease feeling, more calm feeling. And it works. It works for a short period of time. Because when you take a pill, you're feeling better within like 1.5, 2 hours. And for a few hours you feel very at ease. And you think, oh, this is the answer. But it wears off. Just like you're drinking a few beers and you feel a little bit more relaxed. In a few hours the effect wears off, you know. So what then? It is a cycle and it's all on its own, you know. You have the anxiety, you take the pill, you feel better, and within a few hours you feel bad again. And this perpetuates because on the one side you need more over time of the medication to get the same result and the same effect because you build tolerance. And on the other hand, you say to your brain that you're scared of the anxiety feelings, scared of being scared. So the next time, and the brain is giving you an anxiety signal, and because you're scared of being scared, the next time you feel the anxiety, the base anxiety, you will get anxious about being anxious, and you will never get used to the anxiety feelings. So you will get, every time you feel the base anxiety, you get extra anxiety on top because you're scared of being scared. This is a cycle that can go on for years, decades. Because you want to escape the anxiety, the anxious feelings. And trust me, I did this, but in other forms. I was constantly distracting myself to not feel anxious, doing all kinds of compulsions to try to not feel my anxious feelings, overwork, work very hard to try to forget my anxious feelings and my thoughts and feeling my breath the whole time. But this will go downhill. It will never get better. If you take benzos, this isn't the answer long term. And it is very hard to come off them. Because you're getting more scared of the anxiety feelings the longer you take them. And you need to show your brain that you aren't anxious about being anxious. And the only way to do that is to stop taking the medicine that will make you calmer in the beginning. And I know you don't want to hear this, but this is the real story. And over time, you will see that you need more and more and more and more of these pills. And over time, they stop working altogether. So, what will get you better is first, if you make any adjustments to your medication or want to come off them, you need to talk to your healthcare provider and discuss this firsthand, because you need to decide it with your doctor. But if you want to get better from OCD and anxiety, then you need to feel every emotion, every feeling at any time, anywhere. And it's really hard, but it's the only way. You need to build tolerance for the anxiety feeling. You need to see it from a different angle and see that it is not pleasant. But you aren't dying also. You can still do a lot of things. You can go to work, but anxious, go to work. You still can get to a theater. You can read a book. You can eat out. You can sport. You can go to the gym. You can cycle outside. You can walk outside. But even the basic stuff that everybody takes for granted, you can see and you can hear. Nobody thinks about it, but there are many people in the world that can't even see or hear. And you need to realize that if you even can't see and hear, how do you go to the gym? How do you read a book? How do you see a movie? With anxiety, you can do all the things people without anxiety can do. But you do it with a lot of discomfort. But over time, it will get better. If you really work at it, you can get better of anxiety, GAD, OCD, whatever topic, whatever theme it leads to, you can get better. It doesn't matter how long you are stuck with OCD. It doesn't matter, you can get better. But if you are still doing compulsions, if you are still pushing away the anxiety feelings, that is the problem. That is the problem. So, let's have a sip of my tea, because I had a lot of coffee today. Please go to my website, OCDClarity.com. Read some pages. and you can download a free action plan. That is all my knowledge I built up in the last years to get where I am now. And that is 100% better. I had very, very bad anxiety, very, very bad OCD and depression for a very long time. And it's like a roadmap, a guide of getting better. If you do these steps, and if you really work at it, you have a very high chance of getting better of not only OCD, but also anxiety and depression. And please educate yourself about OCD. Please watch some videos here. Please watch the basic OCD cycle video I have made. It's a long one, but it's very very important to know how OCD works. And you need also to consider this and really be honest to yourself. When I see OCD forums, everybody is discussing the best cocktail of SSRIs, or in combination with benzos and microdosing, and to get better from OCD. But you guessed it, it isn't the answer. And if there were a magic cocktail, everybody would know about it. And you wouldn't see any people that are stuck for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years with OCD. And this is really happening with a lot of people. And the majority of people never recover because they don't get the right information, or they don't work at it, or they still doing compulsions, still taking benzos. So and just see with people, if people still feel very anxious, then they are not better. Anxiety is on itself, it's life conserving, but it can explode really, really bad. So, and when it is dominating your life, then it's really a problem. When it's interfering with your life in such a way that you can't function normal, you have a problem. But if anxiety comes up too much, it's also a problem, But you can work at yourself. I was really convinced I couldn't work. I couldn't get better. I couldn't get better from anxiety or OCD at all. And that was a really severe case. And if I can get better, you can get better. So please go to my website, ocdclarity.com. Go to the menu bar and go to the page Action Plan. Download it. Watch my videos, and please, if you have any questions, contact me, and the best of luck. Have a nice day.